This episode of the Joe Cronin Show is brought to you by the new album by Sean Danielson of Smile Empty Soul, Product of Isolation, available now on iTunes, and the album available on Amazon as well. I suggest you actually go out and buy the physical copy. Also available is still Sean Danielson's EP Food Chain, the 2014 album that was released. Check that out as well. I highly recommend it. All right, so let's get down to business, some wrestling news today. Obviously, let's get to the elephant in the room, the first thing we need to talk about today. Obviously, I am aware that Roddy Piper, I'm looking at the photo of him, that Jimmy Snuka passed away. We already lost Roddy Piper, which I know that I'll never forget that day. Not that I was there, but I was at a wrestling event that was impactful. These two guys will be forever linked together. That's why I mentioned one name with the other, just because of that, famous segment and many other things that they did. But Jimmy Snuka is also famous for just so many other things in wrestling. Of course, jumping off the cage. Like, there's so many moments. But, Jimmy Snuka, one of the biggest things that I can say positively about him is that he left a mark on the wrestling business and in the minds of so many people. Like, he got so many people probably wanted to become a wrestler because they saw him, leap off that cage, or they just saw him do something kind of a little bit crazy. Obviously, Mick Foley being one of those people. But so without Snuka, we get no Foley. Without that, so many other people, we don't get them. And just the guy's a legend. I mean, controversy recently about Jimmy Snuka that I won't even go into because there's no point in it. But yeah, we lost Jimmy Snuka, and I just wanted to make everybody aware. Obviously, I know I've been getting tweets all day about it. It's one of those things where we expected it. I may do a separate video at some point about Jimmy Snuka on its own. But that's it. Until then, let's get to some more wrestling news right here.
You're watching The Joe Cronin Show with Joe Cronin. Personality, insight, and insanity. Wrestling talk with attitude.
This is my dear loyal lieutenant, Brother Cronin. He's a good man.
How about this? If you're going to call the show, grow a sack. If I offend you, fuck you. All right. It's me, Vince. No, but seriously, if we're going to get into this, let's right off the bat, let's get into the top 5 opponents for The Undertaker at WrestleMania 33. Before we get into anything else, we talked about Jimmy Snuka, we talked about everything else, but I want to get into this real quick. My number one for The Undertaker, in my opinion, the number one opponent for The Undertaker, for his potential opponent at WrestleMania 33, to me, I gotta say AJ Styles, because I think AJ Styles and The Undertaker would have a phenomenal match. It would just be so interesting to see these two guys collide, and we already seen how AJ Styles can put over Cena and help put over Roman Reigns. He would add the same for The Undertaker. The only thing that I'd be concerned about is getting a match like that's a 7 out of 10 when I feel like these guys are capable of a perfect 10 or 9 out of 10 match. To be honest, I really do think that could happen. So I'm going to say AJ Styles number one. I'm going to say anybody who has potential opponents, AJ Styles is the number one because he'll make the match the best. I think that. And this is based on stuff that I believe could happen too. It's not just like, oh, this is this is also what I want to see in order, plus what I think could actually happen in order. Don't let them in, don't let them see. Be a good girl, you always have to be. Conceal, don't feel, don't let them know. Ooh, now they know. Let it go, let it go. What the hell was that? I don't... Why did I do that? Anyway, The Undertaker, so AJ Styles would be the number one, of course. But number two, for me, would be, in believability, would be Finn Balor. So number two for me is Finn Balor because of the entrances, the sort of comparison of the psychological games that these two men can play. Plus, Finn Balor is young. He can, again, sort of, make the match a little bit better because of his, his agility, his stamina. He's in great shape. His size, it's always interesting. Undertaker has always done really well with guys that are smaller than him. Bigger men, you get that classic big man match, and the match is still all right usually. Even a guy like Edge, Edge, was technically smaller, but he didn't do a lot of like high flying type of stuff. Although he was not my favorite in the ring. So I feel like Finn Balor would be a pretty good matchup, but you would have that danger of the match being okay-ish, like 6-7 or whatever, because of Finn Balor's moveset and the way he's been wrestling recently. But perhaps the match would end up being amazing, and also the entrances alone, you'd want to see it for that. So number two would be Finn Balor. The number three, what did I listed two? And this should be the top five, and of course, my fifth was AJ. I'm going backwards. I'm going in the wrong order, but that's okay. My number one would be AJ Styles. My number two would be Finn Balor, and number three would be John Cena, because that's the match. Of course, they said that's not going to happen, but I'm still going to put it on the book anyway. Number three. Now I am going to put this next man because everybody talks about it. Sting. I will put Sting as number four, because I still kind of would like to see it. It's clearly time has passed. And it's not going to happen. We've already missed out on the opportunity of being able to see Sting against The Undertaker. But that being said, I don't care. Anything's possible. It seems like Sting's pretty much done, and he can't really wrestle with his injuries and his age at this point. And again, lots of the buzz on this has died down. Remember 4 years ago, the buzz was hot on this match, and then it really came to a pinnacle right before Sting was signed to the WWE. It was really high up there on like everybody's dream match list, and we really started believing we were going to get it, and we didn't get it. And whatever, that didn't happen. So I would still put Sting number four. Number five for me would be Roman Reigns. He's the other man on the list. Roman Reigns is in last place because I don't want to see Roman Reigns against The Undertaker. The only way that works for me is, again, if Roman Reigns is a raving heel, is a crazy heel. But they're not going to do that, so I don't want to see it. I don't want to see Roman Reigns pin The Undertaker. And even if Undertaker pins Roman Reigns, good, but it's not the match I want to see. And therefore, I'm the least interested in that match. Therefore, I am putting it number five. It made the list because people have been talking about it, so I put it on there, but it is in my last place. So obviously, number one, AJ Styles. That's how I feel about The Undertaker's opponents at WrestleMania 33. More WWE news now coming. It's funny how some distance makes everything so small. Okay, I'm done with that joke. I get it. It's funny. Haha, you got a Frozen hat on. Listen, folks, if you are not watching the United Kingdom Championship Tournament, you are out of your freaking mind. The other day, I loved the show. I got the way it ended in chaos with Dunn and all that stuff. But for the most part, it was really good. I mean, some of the wrestling was, just average, but the crowd was so hot, it made everything unbelievable. And look at Danny Burch. Danny Burch getting busted open. That match is what sucked me in. By the time that match was over, I was invested in this tournament. It felt like it meant something so much to these guys. I believed how much it meant. It's incredible. That title belt right there in between William Regal. This freaking thing. And Nigel McGuinness. In between only William Regal, I guess. It's just stuck inside of him. That title is more important to me right now than the Universal title is on Raw. I don't know how somebody can't be a wrestling fan and has not watched this, because this is better than Raw. And the numbers tell us that most people are watching Raw. So just about everybody's watching Raw. despite, what you feel about it. But almost nobody voted that they watched this. I forget what the Twitter poll was now, but the Twitter poll was terrible. It was like basically 95% of the WWE audience appeared to have said they didn't watch it. This is incredibly crazy that you didn't watch this. Now, you have all kinds of bad things coming from that type of a poll. First of all, the people who watch the main product are watching just junk. And it's proven by the numbers and the viewership dropping all the way down to whatever it's at right now. It's almost non-existent, you know what I mean? So viewership is just dropping on WWE. But these people, yet those people don't watch this product. So what you're going to come down to is about 700,000 people that enjoy watching Raw and are just casual fans that don't care. They're just there. And what's going to happen is eventually it's going to turn into the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus. The Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus just closed. We're finding out now that it's closing. That's what's going to happen to the WWE if they don't stop this. People aren't going to things like this anymore. That's the problem. The average audience isn't coming. And you're not growing an average audience because people are confused what this stuff is marketed to now. And then all the parents think it's fake, so they just tell the kids, oh, it's fake and stupid, so the kid thinks it's fake and stupid, so nobody cares. And the United Kingdom Championship is actually something fun to watch if you're into sports entertainment. And that title belt, look at that belt. That belt, to me, appears like an actual wrestling title. That is an actual belt that you can cheer for. And the way these guys, beat the crap out of each other, I still don't know with Danny Burch, whether that was supposed to happen or not. And it doesn't matter. The idea that I don't know whether that was actually the boot cutting the back of his head on that shot, which it did look like, by the way, or if somebody had really done a well-done blade job, I don't know. I can't see where he does it. It seems real. Then he gets his arm up. There's controversy. I mean, the referee seemed to have stopped the match early. That's whatever. That added to it. Believe it or not, I mean, it makes it seem like, wow, anything can happen here. Again, this is better than Raw by far. Yet all the Raw douchebags, all the shitbums on social media, just like, oh, let's vote. I didn't watch. You didn't take a second to watch this. You're not a real wrestling fan. I don't care what you say. If you didn't take a second to watch this, there's something wrong with you. If you watch Raw but didn't see this, there's just something wrong with you. Okay, I'm done. I just can't believe how good this was. How good this spot was. These two guys in this match, they were great. So recently on the Sam Roberts podcast, there was an interview with Dolph Ziggler, and during that interview, Dolph Ziggler talked about what it was like dating Amy Schumer. That's right, Dolph Ziggler dated a douchebag. And then I guess Amy Schumer on the Howard Stern show, he said the only problem he had with Amy Schumer was that she mentioned the reason why they broke up was because he was too athletic in the bed. Imagine that. Putting Amy Schumer in the freaking zigzag, maybe scramble some of her dumb douchebaggery brains. I'm getting real sick of comedians who think it's okay to joke about everything themselves, but if you joke about it, it's not cool. And in fact, not only that, they come out and chastise you for it. You're a comedian, make me laugh, or shut up. But Amy Schumer's face does make me laugh, so I guess mission accomplished, Amy douchebag. As many of you heard who watched the UK tournament the other day, part 1 of it, part 2 is today. It's actually going on right now, I believe, or I will be watching it soon. During the Saxon Huxley and Sam Gradwell match, the crowd referred to Huxley as Jesus in a number of chants. Triple H tweeted, "That's one of the most or more interesting chants I've heard from the crowd." Hashtag WWE UKCT at WWE Network. It was definitely one of the most interesting chants. I forget, they also said something about like thank you God or thank you Lord, or they had some kind of thing in there too, and I don't know. I thought it was hilarious as well. Somebody also told me, like that's what a crowd should sound like. US, damn you USA, that's what a crowd sounds like. But I disagree with that comment, because you're saying to the United States that this is what a crowd should sound like. But all the NXT takeovers where the crowd is bananas sound the same. So I don't understand that comparison. So don't take shots at listen, I'll take shots at the US, I'll take shots at everywhere, but don't take shots at the US when you're kind of misrepresenting it. There's a word for that. I don't have it right now. I'm wearing a freaking Frozen hat, for God's sake. But basically what it is you're comparing the wrong things. Compare NXT to UK tournament and now we got something. You can't compare the UK tournament to Raw. Chances are you're from the UK if you said this, and you don't watch NXT, so you yourself must be a poser. I had this message from several people, like, that's how you do it, USA. What are you talking about? Did you see NXT TakeOver Dallas? Did you see the Cruiserweight tournament? Did you see anything else? Or are you just basing this on Raw? Because, of course, Raw sucks. And by the way, the Raw audience in the UK isn't as good as the audience that we had last night either, because it's a different thing. My microphone's I don't know if my mic is dying or if that's the mic or if that's the. Can you hear me? What the hell was that? Hey, what's up? Better? We better? Gotta fix it now. Hey. Why does this happen to me? I'm the game. Triple H. I'm sorry. I don't know. I love Triple H. Again, rest in peace, Jimmy Snuka. Probably more stuff to talk about. And again, I just want to say thank you guys for listening. And again, Sean Danielson's new CD product of Isolation is out. Click that like button. And if you guys want more Joe Cronin Show, there's more videos for you right here. Check it out. And I'll see you in the next video. I'll probably be making another news video at some point today or tomorrow. And we'll see you live after Monday Night Raw.